Hey guys, Aaron Classic Gamer, and we had a request to take a little closer look here at the Hori Fighting Stick Mini for the Nintendo Switch. This is an officially licensed product by Nintendo, and of course, like I said, made by Hori. This is a pretty budget stick. It's around the $50–$55 mark, depending on where you find it. The arcade stick does feature different micro switches, as you can hear. Kind of clicky, kind of noisy, nothing too terrible. It is a square gate, so for you guys that like diamond gates, this probably wouldn't be for you, though you could put a new gate on here. There actually is room for that. And you could probably put a different stick in here. Where you can't mod this stick at all is the buttons. So the buttons, as you can hear, they aren't very clicky or anything like that, but they are very responsive. They don't seem to stick, anything like that. The one thing I have a little bit of a problem with this stick is that the stick is just so darn small. So here's a Pro controller. Here's me holding that. That's pretty good size, so on and so forth. You get to playing on the stick, and it is quite cramped after a little while. I played for about an hour the other day. The Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. It's got all the different Street Fighter 1, 2, and 3 games, and then the Alpha series. And my hand actually got really cramped, so that's one bad thing about this. It is a good budget stick. It does have the capture, the home button, the minus plus, and you can also do turbo mode on there. So when you're playing different fighting games, you can do a turbo. I found it handy when I was playing some shoot 'em up games, that you're able to shoot a lot quicker just by holding down one button. So a lot of people would probably look at this as kind of like a little brother controller, or a good second controller. My SN30 Pro 8-bit do arcade stick actually bit the dust. That's what I used on my Nintendo Switch. It had great buttons and a pretty decent Sanwa quality joystick, so I really enjoyed that stick. Unfortunately, with its last update, it did bite the dust, so I opted for the corded controller. No updates, no crazy stuff like that, and it just works. You plug it in. So those are the pluses about the stick. The small nature of the stick, these buttons being soldered on in place, that's what's kind of weird here. Normally you would have Y, X, and then L, and then you'd have B, A, and then R for like Street Fighter games. So what happens is you end up having like all your kicks here, and then your last button would be here as opposed to here, which is kind of bizarre. Same here with your punches. You've got your first two, your light, medium punch, and then for your like roundhouse or fierce punch, I guess, would be, I got it backwards here, sorry. On top would be your jab, so you'd have a jab, a strong punch, and then a fierce punch. And then here you would normally have a short kick, forward kick, and then roundhouse. So unfortunately the roundhouse is up here, and then the fierce punch is, like I said, it's just weird. Okay, so 1, 2, and then you end up going up here, 1, 2, and then there. I don't know, it's just kind of confusing in a way, and it's hard to remember when you're playing it, because you have this muscle memory of playing this game from all these years ago. So I do have Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers on here. I figured we'd go ahead and just play a little bit. We might play some King of Fighters as well, and maybe a shoot 'em up. You guys can just kind of see how the game arcade stick works. So I do find myself scoring a little less and dying a little more often when I'm using this as opposed to the Pro controller. I don't know if it's because I'm not used to it yet or what the issue is with that. So let's go ahead. We'll close the end of the camera here, and we'll readjust and be right back. Alright guys, we've got the game centered here on the camera. Let's go ahead, and we're going to try to play a little bit here on Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challengers. Show you how the stick plays a little bit. I would say this is probably the definitive edition of Street Fighter 2. Of course, it took them about 25, 26 years to come out with this version, so you would think that it would be of decent quality at this point. The game does look awesome, as you can see. It is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. It's got new characters in here. You've got Evil Ryu and Violent Ken. Let's go ahead and check out Evil Ryu here. just see how far we can get. Probably just play a couple games on this. No! Alright. There we go. We quickly dispatched Ken there.
You win! Round 2, fight!
Alright. Alright. So there's Ken. We just kicked his butt.
You win!
I love the reimagining of all these levels. You're weak. Too weak to exist. You must pray for your weakness with death. Doesn't make any sense, but...
China! Round 1.
Good old English. Ooh. She's going to be a little more difficult to defeat here. Oh no. Alright. We were able to beat Chun-Li there. Stiff challenge, however.
Round 2, fight!
Whoa! Alright. We were able to beat her there.
You win!
Alright. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into another fighting game here. Here's King of Fighters 98. Like I said, after playing on this for about an hour yesterday, I did get a little bit of a some cramped fingers while I was playing. Just because the game is just so darn close, the buttons are just so close together. Alright. This would use like the Diamond 4-player when you're actually playing the game here. So just the first four buttons, first 2 on each row. Alright. Fighters. Alright. We'll probably just play the first battle because you get 3 battles per match here. Whoa. Jeez. 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 All right. We did survive barely. Alright. Come on, Terry Bogard. Oh no. Oh, he got me. Didn't do too much damage there on Caillou. Oh no! Oh, come on. Alright, we got him. So that was King of Fighters, guys. Now we'll probably go ahead and just do a shoot 'em up. I'm going to move on to, I think Blazing Stars, the next game I got in the queue there. Wanted to play a couple of the ACA games, Arcade Archives series of games. That's what it features on the box there. Of course, another S&K classic. We've got the Japanese and English version. I do prefer the English version here. We're going to play through the first game here. First level of the game. A lot of different ships to choose from. We're just going to go ahead and pick the first one here. Like I said, I'm hitting the button here. I don't see any sort of delay, feel any sort of delay. I think it's going to be a good stick. Because when I play fighting games, I usually don't play them for hours anyway. So oh no! Want to get all those lucky panels there. The thing I end up feeling the most is, man, I wish my hands weren't so close together. It leads to kind of imprecise movements, especially over time. Anybody that's had the opportunity to play the Arcade Archive series, definitely an awesome series to play on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, definitely didn't play that great, guys. Did get to the end of the first level. Lost a couple lives. I was playing on the arcade machine, which I do have. and version of this game, that probably wouldn't have happened, but that's okay. We got a rank B. It does play decent, guys. Is it worth the $50? Of course it is. Is it worth probably picking up you know, a couple of these? I wouldn't. If you're just looking for a budget arcade stick like I am, it's definitely worth picking up, guys. Just a ton of fun. Like I said, I've been playing all these different ACA arcade games on here on the Nintendo Switch. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment, guys, and as always, peace and happy gaming.